Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Connor, and today we're going to be talking about what I think the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to look like. So, Avengers Endgame has been out now for a couple of weeks, and with that, the Infinity Saga is officially over. So right now, we don't really have that great of an idea as to what the future of the MCU is really going to look like. Like, we have no concrete information about it. But we do know that early in July, Spider-Man Far From Home will be coming out, and that's basically going to be the end of Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, we do have some information in terms of just a couple of the movies that we know that are going to be coming out and are in development right now for the future. But what's really interesting about it is the first movie that's scheduled to actually start shooting is the movie called Black Widow, which really doesn't really make that much sense because in Avengers Endgame we saw her die, so there's really no future for the character. So the only way that they could actually make a Black Widow movie if it was some a prequel where they could actually show her origin story. But I don't know, I mean, of course we've seen a ton of prequel superhero movies before, but we've never really seen that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before. One of my favorite things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is I feel like every single movie that they make really furthers the overarching story. So I don't really know why they would want to make a prequel movie if it doesn't really further the story. Especially so early in Phase 4 where, they're probably setting up the big things for the next 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So the next movie that's looking to come out is the sequel to Black Panther. Which, this is kind of a no-brainer. We all really knew that this was coming, especially when he came back at the end of Avengers Endgame. I would say right now, Black Panther is one of, if not the, most popular characters in the MCU right now. You probably have Spider-Man that's a little bit higher, but other than that, there's no one else that really has, the kind of impact that Black Panther is making right now. And that's really only something that can get bigger as time moves on. Another movie that I think is just an absolute no-brainer for Marvel to make is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is a movie that has been talked about for a while now, pretty much ever since the second movie came out, with us basically knowing at the end that there's some inevitable third film coming. Now, of course, if you have no idea, there was a lot of controversy over who the director of this movie would be, but about I want to say a couple months ago, we finally got confirmed that James Gunn would indeed come back to direct the third movie. And for me personally, I'm really excited to see how this movie ends. The Guardians of the Galaxy are probably one of my favorite franchises as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I always think that their movies are really good and just so much different than all the other Marvel movies. In the first movie, at the end, they made kind of a really big surprising move to kill off Groot, and I think that was really fun and interesting to me. And so with this third movie, they could pretty much go anywhere that they want with it. And also, in case you don't know, at the end of Avengers Endgame, we see Thor basically going off with the Guardians. And I'm really excited to see if that means that Thor is actually going to be a part of the whole movie, or if the Guardians are just going to drop him off somewhere. Because personally for me, I love the scenes between Thor and the rest of the Guardians in Infinity War and Endgame. I feel like Thor and Rocket really had a really nice relationship with each other, and I would really like to see that kind of developed in further movies. But also, I have this weird feeling about Guardians 3, and that it's going to be one of those really emotional films, and I think it's definitely going to have some character that's in it. And I think that franchise can actually afford it, since, it's one of those franchises that has so many characters in it that sometimes you do get lost with the amount of people that are actually in it at one time. Now, the final movie that I think is just a complete lock for Marvel's future is the sequel to Doctor Strange. So, I feel like with the first Doctor Strange movie, it was probably one of the more boring movies in the MCU. The villain was kind of just really subpar, and there was just nothing really that fun of it to me. But I feel like in Infinity War and Endgame, Doctor Strange really became one of my more favorite characters. He had this really interesting arc, especially at the end of Infinity War, where basically he saw into the future and he knew exactly what was going to happen in Endgame. And so now with the second Doctor Strange movie, they really need to do a good job at solidifying him as one of the big star names of the MCU going forward. Because we have a lot of open spaces going forward right now with the deaths of Iron Man and Captain America. So it'll be interesting to see in Doctor Strange's second solo movie if he really lives up to those expectations of those solo Iron Man and Captain America movies, or if we're going to be looking to the future for someone else. Because I think Doctor Strange is actually one of those characters that has the most potential in this universe. I mean, he really deals with time, and he deals with, all these like supernatural things that we've never really seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before. I mean, with all the other characters in phases 1 and 2, it always dealt with like science or mythology and stuff like that, but we've never really had this kind of mystical element in the MCU before. And I want those Doctor Strange solo movies to really pique my interest and make me want more, and not just to make him feel like an Iron Man 2.0. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, and also comment down below what you guys think, or if you guys have any other movie ideas that are going to be part of Marvel's Phase 4. Also, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.